What if your dream life wasn't far away at all? What if it was just one shift away, one decision, one leap? I know that might sound a little woo-woo, like something out of a sci-fi movie, but what I'm going to share with you today is a very real, very grounded way to create a radical shift in your life. And it's something people around the world are doing right now. Not by luck and not by magic, but by intention. This is what we call a quantum leap. And no, it's not about time travel or jumping into another dimension, although that would be cool. It's about collapsing the distance between where you are now and where you want to be, by stepping into the identity of the version of you who already lives that life. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do it, from mindset to action, from energy to embodiment. So if you're ready to finally break out of the loop and step into a whole new timeline, hit that subscribe button, because we are just getting started. So, what is a quantum leap, really? You've probably heard the term thrown around on social media, especially in self-development and manifestation circles. And while it sounds dramatic, like something ripped from a Marvel movie, the actual idea is way more grounded than most people think. In physics, a quantum leap refers to the sudden movement of an electron from one energy level to another without traveling the space in between. It's a discontinuous jump. No steps, no gradual climb, just boom, it's there. One moment, it's here. The next, it's over there. No in between. Now, when we borrow that idea for personal growth, we're not talking about electrons. We're talking about identity, reality, your internal state, and the life that flows from it. A quantum leap in your life means stepping into a completely different reality, often in a very short amount of time, without needing to earn it through slow, linear progress. Let me explain. Most of us are taught that change is hard, that transformation takes time, that we have to work our way toward a new reality, years of effort, struggle, maybe a little progress here and there. We expect change to be incremental, but a quantum leap invites a new possibility. What if change could be instantaneous? What if, instead of gradually becoming someone new, you decided to be that person now? Because here's the truth. Your external reality is always a reflection of your internal identity, not the other way around. You don't get rich and then believe you're abundant. You don't find love and then feel lovable. You don't land your dream job and then feel successful. It's the opposite. You believe it first, and then reality organizes itself around that belief. That's what a quantum leap is. It's the decision to collapse time by shifting your internal identity and allowing your external world to match. Think about people who change their lives seemingly overnight. They go from broke to thriving, from lost to aligned, from invisible to magnetic. And they'll often say something like, "I just decided. I just knew. I became her." That's not an accident. That's a quantum leap. It's the moment you stop negotiating with your limitations and start embodying the energy of the version of you who already has what you want. Not tomorrow, not someday, but now. It's powerful because it's energetic. And here's the key. It doesn't mean you won't take action. You will. But the action flows from a different place, a different identity, one that already exists, and that you can access in this moment simply by choosing to. Let me tell you a quick story. A friend of mine had been stuck in the same job for years. She hated it, but she stayed because it was safe, logical, predictable. She kept saying she wanted to start her own business, but she didn't feel ready. You know the story. Most of us have lived it in some way. One day, she hit a breaking point, and instead of waiting for the right time, she asked herself a powerful question. What would the version of me who already runs her own business do today? She dressed differently. She walked differently. She spoke differently. She began being the woman who already lived that life. And within months, not years, she left her job, launched her brand, and signed her first high-paying client. That was her quantum leap, not because she found some secret shortcut, but because she shifted her identity, and reality responded. Now, I'm not saying you should quit your job tomorrow or pretend your way through life. This isn't about delusion. It's about alignment. It's about showing up as if you already are the version of you who lives the life you want, and then watching how quickly things start to rearrange around that energy. Because the universe doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you are available for. And you become available for more when you stop waiting and start embodying. So let me ask you right now, what would the next level version of you do today? How would they think? How would they speak? What would they say yes to? What would they walk away from? That is the beginning of a quantum leap. You don't have to figure it all out. You don't have to have a 5-year plan. You just have to choose. Choose the frequency. Choose the timeline. Choose the you that already knows how this ends. That's where the shift begins. Now that we've explored what a quantum leap is, let's talk about how it actually works. Because here's the thing, this isn't just an idea to feel inspired by. This is a process you can practice. And the more you do, the more you'll notice your external world beginning to shift to reflect the new version of you. At its core, a quantum leap is about identity and energy. You're not forcing the world to change. You're becoming the version of you who already lives that new reality, and the world naturally reconfigures itself in response. So how do you actually do that? Let's break it down into steps. Step 1. Decide who you're becoming. This sounds simple, but it's powerful. You need a clear internal reference point for the version of you that already has what you want. Not a vague idea, not a Pinterest board. Get specific. Who is this person? What does their day look like? How do they feel when they wake up? How do they respond to stress? What boundaries do they hold? What do they believe about money, love, purpose, success? Don't just focus on the results. Focus on the embodiment. Quantum leaping is about stepping into the energy of that version of you before you have the proof. This version of you already exists on a higher frequency. Step 2. Make micro-alignments. This is where people get it wrong. They think a quantum leap has to be dramatic, like I quit my job, dumped my partner, moved to Bali, and started a spiritual business all in 1 week. That's not necessary. Quantum leaping can be gentle, soft, gradual even, but still fast. It's the small decisions you make every day that align you with your new identity. It's choosing the new reaction, the new boundary, the new thought. It's drinking water instead of self-medicating. It's closing your laptop at 6 p.m. instead of burning out. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. Just start asking yourself one simple question. Is this decision aligned with the version of me I'm becoming? And then act accordingly, bit by bit, moment by moment. Step 3. Shift your self-concept. This is the heart of everything. Your self-concept is the internal narrative that defines who you think you are. And here's the wild thing. Your brain and body are loyal to your identity, even when it's working against you. If you see yourself as someone who always struggles, self-sabotages, or falls short, that's the reality your subconscious will protect, no matter how hard you try to manifest something else. So the key is to update your self-image. And you do that by interrupting the old identity as it's happening. When you catch yourself saying, I'm just not that confident, pause and ask, who told me that? Is this true, or is this a habit? When you feel like shrinking or staying small, ask, what would my next level self do here? That's the internal reprogramming. That's how you start becoming the new version of you instead of performing your past. Step 4. Regulate your nervous system. This is the part no one talks about, but it's everything. When you start quantum leaping, your nervous system will freak out a little. Why? Because you're doing things it doesn't recognize as safe. You're breaking patterns, you're expanding, and to your subconscious, even positive change can feel like a threat. So don't be surprised if resistance shows up. Don't panic if fear creeps in. It's not a sign you're off track, it's proof that you're growing. Your job is to soothe your system as you stretch. Breathe, ground, get outside, journal, take a break. Let yourself feel the fear and move anyway. Quantum leaping is not about bypassing your emotions. It's about leading yourself through them from a higher place. Step 5. Detach from time. This might be the most important part. The moment you start tracking how fast your results are coming, you slip back into your old identity, the one that doubts, that worries, that doesn't believe it's already done. Quantum leaps don't work on your ego's schedule. They unfold on soul time. So let go of the how and the when, and stay focused on the who. Who are you becoming? Who are you showing up as today? That's your power. That's the timeline you're aligning with. And that's when it happens, not because you forced it, but because you became it. So now you're showing up as the version of yourself who's already living the life you want. You're shifting your energy, your habits, your mindset. But here's where most people silently stall. They say they're ready for the leap. They think they know what they want. But deep down, the signal they're sending out to the universe is scrambled. Here's the truth. The quantum field doesn't respond to confusion. It responds to clarity, precision, certainty. And that's why the next phase of your leap is about two things: getting crystal clear on your desire and making it feel so normal, it's boring. All right, so now that you know how a quantum leap actually works, the next step is something most people overlook. You have to get clear, and then you have to normalize what you want. Let's break that down. First, get clear. You cannot quantum leap into a reality you don't understand. You need a clear, energetic signal about where you're going. Imagine you're driving to a new city, but you don't put the address into your GPS. You just start driving, hoping the road will take you there. It won't. You'll end up lost, exhausted, and going in circles. The universe works the same way. When you're vague about what you want, when you say things like, "I just want to be happy," or "I want a better life," you're not sending a strong enough signal for life to respond to. Quantum leaping requires intention. So take the time to get specific. Journal it out. Visualize it. Speak it out loud. Ask yourself, what exactly do I want? What would it look like if I got it? How would it feel in my body to live that way? What does a normal day look like for that version of me? Get deep and get honest. Not with what you think is realistic, but with what your soul wants. And if you don't know what that is yet, that's okay. Your clarity doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to feel true. So follow the feeling. Let your desires speak louder than your fears. Now, normalize it. Here's the real secret. Once you get clear on what you want, you have to normalize it. Most people stop at desire. They visualize the dream. They speak the affirmations. But deep down, it still feels far away. Unrealistic, like a fantasy that might happen someday if the stars align. But quantum leaps don't work like that. They don't happen because you want something. They happen when you become a vibrational match for the life you desire. And that means treating it as normal. Let me explain. When something is normal, your nervous system accepts it as safe, familiar, possible. It's not shocking. It's not overwhelming. It's just how life works. So instead of saying, "I hope one day I can make $10,000 a month," say, "It's normal for me to be financially supported." Instead of saying, "I hope I find love one day," say, "Of course I'm loved. Of course I'm chosen. That's just who I am." This isn't about pretending. It's about training your brain and body to accept your desires as your baseline, because when something feels normal, your behavior naturally aligns with it. You show up differently. You expect more. You stop settling. And that's when things start to move. Thereafter, create your new normal. How do you do this? Start by surrounding yourself with examples of the life you want. Watch people who are living it. Read their books. Listen to their interviews. Don't pedestal them. Just let their energy normalize what's possible. Next, speak it into your world. Talk about your dreams as if they're inevitable. Let your desires be part of your daily language, not as distant goals, but as truths you're living into. And finally, feel into it. Embody it. Close your eyes and ask, what would it feel like to already have this? Then sit in that feeling. Let it become familiar. Let it sink into your body until it no longer feels extraordinary. It just feels right. That's when the leap happens. Because reality doesn't change when you're waiting for it to be safe. It changes when you make the extraordinary feel ordinary. When you stop chasing and start receiving. When you stop hoping and start expecting. So get clear, get honest, and then get used to the idea that your dream life is not a miracle. It's your new normal. Let's talk about focus, because even if you've done all the work, gotten clear, embodied your future self, aligned your habits, if your focus is still on the lack, the waiting, the worry, you're pulling yourself out of the very reality you're trying to step into. The quantum field responds to attention, not just what you say you want, but what you actually dwell on all day long. So ask yourself honestly, what are you rehearsing in your mind? Are you imagining best-case scenarios or bracing for disappointment? Are you playing out new possibilities or recycling old fears? Whatever you focus on, you feed. And here's the deeper truth. You don't become what you want. You become what you believe. You can visualize your dream life every morning, but if you still see yourself as someone who never quite gets there, your energy won't lie. That's why quantum leaping is not about brute force. It's about subtle shifts. We live in a world that glorifies hustle, grind, and control. But in this work, true transformation, softness is power. You don't have to fight your way into your new timeline. You don't have to prove you're worthy. You don't have to beg the universe to move faster. Instead, try gentleness. Try whispering to yourself, I am safe to grow. It's okay for this to feel uncomfortable. It's working, even if I can't see it yet. Quantum leaping is not about overriding your fear. It's about relaxing into your knowing. And from that softness, you'll find the courage to keep choosing the new timeline, even when the old one tries to pull you back, even when nothing outside of you has changed yet. You can't fake energy. The universe reads your signal, not your script. So instead of obsessing over what hasn't happened, anchor into belief. Belief that you are held. Belief that your desire is valid. Belief that every small choice you're making is creating momentum in the unseen. Let your belief be stronger than your doubt. Let it guide your focus, not as a performance, but as a devotion. Because when you believe it, you start to live it. And when you live it, the leap becomes inevitable. So let's wrap this all together. By now, you understand what a quantum leap really is. You've learned how to get clear on your desires, how to normalize your dream reality, how to shift your focus and soften into belief. But how do you actually speed up the process? How do you move through timelines with less resistance and more momentum? The answer may surprise you. You don't speed it up by pushing harder. You speed it up by collapsing the gap between who you are right now and who you're becoming. You speed it up by deciding, not hoping, not waiting, not negotiating with fear, just deciding. Decide to live as if it's already done. Decide that this version of you, the one with the clarity, the confidence, the alignment, is real. The moment you stop waiting for permission, things begin to move. And here's the wild part. You don't even have to know how it's going to happen. You just have to walk like the door is already open. You have to speak like it's already unfolding. You have to show up like the universe already got the message and is now arranging itself around you. This isn't magic, but it is powerful, because reality will always mirror back what you deeply believe about yourself. And when you start acting like you're already living the life you want, the universe has no choice but to meet you there. So take a breath, ground yourself in your vision, and then take the next soft, bold step. Your new reality isn't on the horizon. It's already here, waiting for you to claim it. And if this video sparked something in you, if it reminded you of who you really are, subscribe to the channel for more because we are just getting started. Remember, you are not here to repeat the past. You are here to leap.